All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Stormwater Board meeting for June 11th, 2024. If you would please get out of your seats and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Wendy, can you start us in a roll call, please?
Ryan Leesick.
Here.
Patrick Conlon.
Here.
Benji Kinchlow.
Here.
Don Oliphant.
Here.
David Austin. Jeff Bunky.
Present.
Eric Bosma.
Here.
Julie Rivera. And Wendy Schmicke. Here.
All right, in reviewing the minutes from May 14th, is there any questions or comments? If none, can I receive a motion to approve the minutes from May 14th, 2024, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the May 14th minutes.
I second the motion.
Ryan Leesick.
Yes.
Patrick Conlon.
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes. All right, in reviewing claims from fund number 650 for $24,122.65, is there any questions related to this claims? If none, can I receive a motion to approve the claims for fund number 650 for the amount of $24,122.65?
I'll make a motion to approve the claims fund number 650 in that amount, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that motion.
Ryan Leesick.
Yes.
Patrick Conlon.
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes. All right, in review of claims for fund number 654 for the amount of $5,646.48. If there are no questions or comments related to these capital improvement funds, can I receive a motion to approve these funds?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the claims fund number 654 in the amount of $5,646.48.
And I'll second that motion.
Ryan Leesick.
Yes.
Patrick Conlon.
Yes.
Benji Kinchlow.
Yes. All right, moving on to update items. We have Angie Mikolajczyk at 12806 Lee Court. I apologize, I did not get out there since last month's meeting, but is there any update on your end?
I have an update on my end. I don't really have much of anything. We talked about, she's got two existing easements. I don't know. Angie, do you have anything new or any kind of update to give us as far as?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. It's been pretty dry, so it hasn't been much of a problem.
Most of the water just pulls in that decorative pond that I created.
Okay, keep that an update item. Moving on to the Justin Latz property at 7320 West 140th Place.
We have a small update on that one. Tim did get out there to look at the property corner we painted for him. He's under the impression we're going to need an easement from the Sullivans to the west. So that's going to have to go to legal to figure out how we're going to be able to get that with the owner on record being deceased. So I'm not really sure. That's going to have to go legal and figure it out. Because I don't know. There's too much brush out there. There's too many trees to keep it all on Mr. Lass's parcel. So we're going to need some type of agreement from his western property joiner to do the project. So we can forward that to David. He can start doing his stuff and figure out what the best way forward with it is. I don't know. impression that it's past probate because he's been deceased for 6+ years. He's still showing as the owner. His kids are living there, at least his son or his daughter. So I don't know where it goes from here, unfortunately. Mr. Lyons has been great, but can't really do the project without that easement.
Oh, goody. Okay.
So, I mean, it's still a funded project, it's still, doable, it's kind of ready to go in a large aspect. I think we have the pipe, I think it's already stock, it's been stock up for 2 years now, probably.
Yeah, it is.
So, but we don't really have a path forward without that parcel.
Okay.
So, we'll notify David's office and tell him to proceed however he sees fit. Kind of beyond my control at this point.
All right, so let's hopefully get an update from David Austin's office
Yep.
next
I'll
meeting.
fire in some correspondence and see how he responds.
Okay, moving on to Public Works projects with 2024 project rank. I think we have some good news here.
Yeah, Lakeshore Drive is done, Collapse is done. I think you saw some of the first billings in your docket, 654 approval. It's probably just the first of several. It's gonna be more expensive than $1,000, so
Yeah.
that'll start popping in as they start getting invoices. I think they had PGX help them out for that, right?
Yeah.
So that got done pretty quick, just more of an emergency project. So it's done.
Under budget, over budget?
No clue yet.
No idea yet.
Tim's got to submit his invoices to Jen, and we'll figure it out. It should be under. It should be under. Since they handled it. PGX is generally pretty competent, and they're pretty cheap too.
Price efficient.
So,
Good deal.
yep.
Moving on to item number B, letter B, Wilson Ditch.
Wilson Ditch is in progress. That's going to require the one easement from Ms. Wilson's son to make that project viable. Right now, the property or right-of-way line is pretty much dead center of that ditch, so we'll need buy-in from him before the parcel kind of moves forward. We've heard from Ms. Wilson that he's willing to do it, but now we just need to get the easement produced and signed.
Okay. Moving on to Monastery Woods, property 10026, West 128th Avenue.
That's 100% Public Works, so I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not sure. Mr. Kubiak hasn't spoken about that one yet.
Yeah, kind of the next three are kind of Public Works projects.
So same thing with Summer Winds,
Yep,
item D.
it's another rear lot, and then Woodland Hills at the end of the cul-de-sac near, just north of Lakeshore Drive right there.
I did hear
North
that
FOE.
Summer Winds might possibly be PGX's project. Another one where we go help them, but they do most of the work.
Okay.
That's the only one that he's talked about. All the other ones I haven't heard from him yet.
Yeah, I mean, like I said at the last meeting, a lot of those public works are gonna get done as kind of crew availability.
Yeah.
Or if they don't have availability, it'd be probably subbed out to PGX or another
Yeah.
local contractor. So, it's kind of on Tim's docket. I let him know which ones were awarded, which is pretty much all of them. So he's got a couple in his hopper now.
Yeah, luckily the last couple, like with Julie Givens, and I've had more than just me and Tyler. It's been other guys that he's been freeing up for us to get these done quicker. I mean, they get done in half the time when you just only have two guys doing it, so. But those I'm gonna have to talk to him about, see what he wants to do.
Understandable. It's only been a month, that's okay. It's not like you get to them when you can, so thank you. So same thing with Dewey Street?
Yeah.
Dewey Street, the easement for that has been prepared. Tim and I went back and forth about some sizes. He's been talking to the owner, Tom Frick, about what he's willing to grant. So we went back and forth with a couple alignments, widths of easements. I think we've got it dialed into what Mr. Frick will accept. once we get the green light on that, that'll go to David's office to finalize it and then sign, and then that'll be another public works project, so.
Okay, good deal. So just moving on to the additional projects with 2024 project rank, same kind of situation for these.
Shades is part of the 141st curb and gutter, that's part of the Shades project, which is ongoing now. All storm sewer on that project is complete. They started road dig out on Monday. They started on the north end of Sherman, working their way south, then they'll shift to Rockland and so forth to the west. When they were installing a storm sewer at 140th and Morse, it essentially connects in the doctor's office right there system into a cross culvert. They discovered a mishmash of unlocated everything. It's every pipe material you possibly could want, kind of just stacked together over the years. There's an 18-inch clay tile out there that we think was crushed during the water main project, is our feeling. TJ actually ran into the inspector from Nice, and he said he knew about it.
Oh, right.
He said it was in their trench. Whether or not they crushed it or not, I don't know. So that's going to be, Public Works has cambered it. We sort of know where it's at.
Yeah.
Now we're just trying to figure out what to do about it.
There's like a 45 coming out of the basin behind Rich's office.
Blind bends, the clay tile, it's a PVC, it's a plastic, it turns into a corrugated metal pipe somewhere on the line too. So it's just a mess.
We were almost ready to cut the road up because we got the camera stuck in there. So,
Yeah, didn't it fall down a hole
yeah, it fell down.
in the pipe?
So
So that's kind of an
Yeah.
in-progress thing right now. We'll know more about it by next meeting, but that would be the only remaining storm part of it.
Yeah.
That was kind of a surprise to everybody. So, we're working on that. But the curb and gutter, that'll go in towards the latter part of the project once they finish road dig out and start the curb and gutter work.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Woods of Cedar Creek.
Everything is signed except our ingress egress on Mr. Lapham's parcel. That is done. It went through legal review. It was forwarded to town staff, I believe, yesterday or Friday. So as soon as somebody reaches out to Mr. Lapham, he can come in and sign it, and that will be all easements signed, ready to go. Once we receive that, we'll tidy up the plans a little bit, and the estimate's right around our quote/bid breakout, kind of max cost, so we need to dial in the cost a little bit better, figure out if we can quote it or if we have to bid it. So that break line's $150,000. So we need to make a decision. The quoting's obviously a lot easier. If we have to bid it, then we have to publicly notify and go through that process, so.
Okay.
But we're kind of starting down that path anyways without the last signed thing. We have no doubt Mr. Lapham will sign it. He's already signed one for the drainage easement on this parcel. So we fully expect him to sign it and we'll be good to go.
Good deal. And these last two items, any updates with the Woodland Shores storm sewer improvements?
Woodland Shores will need one more easement on the east side of what was formerly the Becker parcel. We'll need another 5-footer on their eastern neighbor before that can proceed. So that's kind of next in line for all these easements we've been preparing since it was the lowest scored.
Yep.
And then Schubert Dodge is, we can evaluate that maybe towards the end of the year to see where our coffers, finish up with all these other 8, 9 projects.
Right. That's a good deal.
So,
Good update. Before we go on to new business, I wanted to bring up something that came up the last meeting, towards the end, related to the Lock Ridge Nature Trust and the Havenwood subdivision. And I assume just by the dates, what was sent over from Brad Wells, he did read this before sending this over, correct, in his response?
No, sir.
I don't believe so. No, we just sent this out on Monday.
Okay.
I sent out something this morning to you guys because they got me some additional information last night from the clerk's office.
Okay.
So I did drop off stuff this morning. I've not received anything since.
Okay.
So the memo that we finished on Monday was kind of the formal evaluation of the parcel based on the stormwater fee ordinance, which is, I believe, number 1002. Based on our evaluation of it, we actually sent one of my guys out there to verify that there is a gravity outfall to this water body partially located on this parcel, and there is. It's a 36-inch RCP that crosses from east to west, just north of this parcel. It's not even on this parcel. It's on the unincorporated parcel to the north. That provides a gravity outfall to the system, which essentially says it's not retention. It is an existing water body that was present prior to the construction of Havenwood. From everything that we found, the water body was not modified by the Havenwood development to provide any kind of stormwater detention for the subdivision. It is a vacant residential parcel, which automatically drops the assessed ERUs from 1 to 0.5. The parcel would be eligible for a direct discharge credit, which grants a 30% credit off of that, so that would drop your ERUs down to 0.4. $10 an ERU, that'd be a $4 monthly assessment to the property. There still has to be a formal application made for the DDC, direct discharge credit, to drop it down to the 0.4. So that's noted in the stormwater fee ordinance. I think it's a $100 application fee, and then a bunch of other supporting documentation to support the credit application. So that is our official evaluation of the appeal. In line with the ordinance, we recommended the clerk treasurer send this to the lot owner via certified mail as the official response to the appeal. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Seems pretty cut and dry.
I'll not make any comments because I've not received that.
You're gonna have to wait till public comment.
Okay.
This is in line with other outlots on the parcel. There's upwards of probably 15 other outlots within the subdivision. The ones that I checked, all are either assessed as vacant residential or non-vacant residential, so they range from 0.5 to 1 ERU. The reason that this thing hasn't been, from what we can tell, the reason this hasn't been charged a stormwater fee for the longest time is that when the initial fee assessment for the town was done in 06-07, the parcel data we were working off of was requested by the county in May of 2006. Latter phases of kind of the western portion of Haven were developing at the same exact time. This plat, I think, was platted 2 months prior to that. You know, obviously back in 06, they didn't update their parcel data nearly as fast. And most likely what happened is that it wasn't not being assessed because a fee was waived. It wasn't assessed because that parcel didn't exist at that time.
Understood.
It's not part of our original mapping. It's one large parcel that was assessed at the time when they were just doing construction. So this parcel was included in the large western unplatted parcel, and I think it was assessed at the time 44 ERUs. Essentially jived with the aerial photography at the time. And I'm betting at some point when it did formally plat, it was just missed. And it was just never charged for, until it was caught at utility billing. That is where I think it is, because if you look at the other outlots in the future phases, like I said, they are billed. Whether it's open space, whether there's a detention basin on it or not, they are billed either 0.5 ERUs or 1. So I see no reason that this would be any different. This one's beneficial in the fact that it outlets to the corporate limit, which is what makes it eligible for the direct discharge credit, which is a 30% reduction in the overall ERUs. But a full waiver I am unaware of any full waiver we've granted.
So that's like $700.
Hmm?
How much, what's that over time?
What? The assessed back?
Yeah.
I mean, we had a $5 ERU up until, I think, 2017, where it went to $10.
Okay.
So if the assessment started in 2007, that's 10 years, times 120 times 5, it'd be $2.50 actually, because it'd be vacant at that time, and then it doubles at 17. So, I don't know, do the math. It's not a whole bunch of money. I mean, I'm not horribly surprised that some of these outlots were missed, because at the time they were owned by the developer eventually turned them over to the HOA, went to tax sale, that's how it got purchased.
10-4.
So, this won't be the last one
Right.
that's been missed. I mean, I think we have 9,800 parcels at the assessment back in 2006, 2007, and that's gone up well over 10,000 now. For them all to be caught, yeah, it's tough.
Okay. Thank you. All right, moving on to new business. Any new business? Well, once we get to public comment. Anything from Public Works?
Not this time.
All right. Okay, moving on to public comment. Once again, if you have any comments, please address it at the podium, state your name and address, and let's start conversating.
You wanna go ahead? Angie Michaelachuk, 12806 Lee Court. I don't have any updates regarding anything that's going on with the stormwater board in my property, but there were 3 things and they kind of all tie in together. The last time I was here, I told you the next day that I was going to be talking to the Plan Commission about that sidewalk drain issue, and I did, and that didn't go over very well, because they said, well, it's stormwater, and however, the Plan Commission had instructed legal to make a report regarding my property, which I know that he has been working on. And so the 3 items that I wanted to ask you about or mention tonight, I think all have to do with that. Number 1 is, the question I have is, Ryan, do you still plan on coming out to see my property?
Yes.
Okay. And you still have my phone number?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next one was that I had brought up in the Plan Commission meeting regarding my neighbor's drain spout that comes off of his roof and goes into my backyard. I think that situation may have something to do with the report that legal's working on, but I do believe it's a stormwater violation. I'm not really pushing it and calling the town. The town was supposed to come take a look. I don't know if they did or not, because I think that he has the same problem that I may have as far as not having the water in the backyard to be able to go anywhere. So his drain spout comes into my yard. So I wanted to address that because I talked to the Plan Commission and they said, well, did you tell the Stormwater Board? And I think, Mr. Oliphant, did you see that?
I did. I mean, the code says, what, 10 feet from property line, right, Eric?
I believe so, yeah.
So, and I think you said it crosses and it's a pop-up, right?
I don't know. It's a black corrugated plastic pipe that comes off of his house and goes under the ground and comes out. Do you have an updated image of, because that looks like an older one? Because I wanted to show you something on it.
Yeah, we can log into this really quick.
Thank you.
Where's it outlet to?
I'm sorry. I believe that from my water well to the property line by my neighbors, there's probably like 15 feet. I think my water well kind of designates 15 feet to the north would be the property line, and 15 feet to the west would be the other property line. So, my water well meets right there, and that's right around where I did the pond, the decorative pond, and I had to my water well's in the center of it. It looks really weird. It's like a Y shape. He's looking to see if he could, yeah, there it is.
April this year.
Yeah. So, can I go up there and show you something?
Sure.
Okay. It's just easier to show you than it is to... My water well is right here. My property line is way over here, and the water well is here, so I have about this much, it's like right in the center, it's like a 90 degrees. Do you see what I'm talking about? Okay, so this is, I originally had done this, because my neighbor's drain spout's right here. And if you can see, his house is here, it comes out here, it's buried in the ground, and it comes out right here, right by my water well, which is over here. So, you know, I had a problem with that. But what I was thinking about, and we had talked about Plan A and Plan B, I was thinking, the majority of the water that I get is here, and it does get wet a little bit over here, but for the most part, that part stays dry. So I'm thinking what would probably be a solution, because this is a hill and this is a hill, would probably have something here to get it away from my well, like a hole or something, I don't know.
Yeah, but we gotta get it away from the house though. It's
Yeah.
not, I mean, you're just moving water at that point to another location. I mean, the ultimate goal is try to push it north.
That way?
Yeah, but I think we said before, if we're doing that over land, you're not gonna have much of a usable backyard at that point.
Yeah, I really don't.
Well, yeah, but it's gonna be like a kind of a notch swale in order to get water to flow. We got grade, but that's the ultimate, that's what it'll look like.
Because when it rains and stuff, this is what fills up.
Yeah, and we gotta,
The more of it here.
and since that's kind of lower than the north part, we're gonna have to drop your grade in front of your deck lower to catch grade. So
Here.
it's not going to be much of a usable rear yard at that point.
Yeah. Well, this is 10 feet, and supposedly, like according to the building permit, it says there's 38 feet, but the attorney looked up the recorded plat for the subdivision, and his plot was the same as what I had an old survey done, the previous owner of the house gave it to me. And from here to here, there's supposed to be 30 feet, and then from here to the back of my house here, it's 27 feet.
I'm not sure what your rear setback is, typically it's 30,
Right.
but back then it was a percentage calculation, I believe.
Yeah.
So it very well could be 25, I don't know for sure.
I'm not sure. Okay, just wanted to check that.
Okay.
So that was 2 items. And then the third thing I wanted to ask is, was there any way possible regarding the owner of that property being phoned? Because that's what we discussed the last meeting.
I'm sorry, for the homeowner
Oh,
to be...
the last storm board meeting that we had considered the possibility of asking perhaps if the owner of the property to the west of mine would be willing to put in the swale on his property since he had bigger land, instead of it being on my little property.
Well, Gene, our code enforcement officer,
Uh-huh.
was out there looking at that piece of property. You talking about the one that has access off of Pine Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Bruce Young, as far as she can tell, does not own that lot anymore.
Okay. Well, that's in the Plan Commission, and it's under Price Point Builders, which, again, is part of the situation I'm talking about. And Price Point Builders is listed for Bruce Young, so.
Okay. Well, I thought she knew that Price Point and Bruce were synonymous, but I'll have to get back and check on that. But she was under the impression that it recently sold. I don't know where she got her info.
Okay. Well, the name had changed. He changed the name. He was sent a notice regarding some other violations on the property, I think in January and February. In March, he changed the name of the property. But it's the same owner. And this is all in the Plan Commission, has to do with the report. But I guess what I wanted to ask you is if you would plan on coming, if that owner was going to be called, And do we do anything about the storm water violation? Is it in fact a violation, and how do we address that?
Can Tony look at that? From a building department?
I went out with Eddie, but
Okay. Yeah, we're ready.
I'm sure Tony's, apprised of the situation, but
Okay. I mean, Eddie is good too.
Yeah,
I
well,
just think somebody from building department needs to make that call.
yeah, the plan commission meeting, they said that they would come out, so that
What's
was
is the
last
rule
month.
10 feet from your property line, is that correct?
Town folks are supposed to discharge at grade 10 feet from your property line. Now, that's difficult with some of the newer subdivisions, even some of the older ones, when your side yard setbacks are 8,
Yeah.
sometimes 5. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense sometimes, but yes, it's 10 by code. So, and I don't even think we have 10 feet here, I don't think it's.
So even if his discharge was on his property,
It would still come back.
it would still find its way there, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That's why I think it kind of all ties in together.
Yep.
And I think it would be best for us to, I mean, I don't know if this report is for the town, I don't know if it's for plan commission, I don't know. I think it's just, it's not going to be like one, I think it's a report, a combined report. It's not a report for me, it's not a report for, and I know that he's working on that. So I'm assuming just to be patient and see what comes of the report, and then we go from there. I'm not sure.
And he's got an 8-foot yard setback, 8-foot side yard setback. So 10 foot's not feasible,
Yep.
but it should discharge at basically the building. That's where it should go.
So, I just wanted to give you those, I don't want to call them updates, just information.
Yeah. And that's something we can talk about when I do come out there. I apologize, I've been traveling.
No, that's okay.
a
It's
lot.
fine.
But yeah.
And I'm assuming, like Mr. Bungie said, the rain isn't probably going to be as plentiful the next couple of months, but it probably will start again in the fall. So I don't know if we want to, I'm not sure exactly what to do.
Yeah,
It's up to these guys.
Yeah.
let's take a look at it, talk to, you said Austin's office is developing a plan?
No,
Review.
no, sir, that's not, he was instructed by the plan commission to get a report on
Okay.
some of the items that I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I've been, I don't want to say that I've been working with him, but I've been in correspondence with him and his staff. So I guess I'm just going to wait for that. He asked me if I would allow, give him some time, and I'm fine with that, but
Squeaky wheel gets the grease, so, yes, I will be planning to go out there next week.
okay. And
Like you
then,
said, it's not gonna rain for a while though.
right, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know about the stormwater violation.
That,
I mean, like Mr. Oliphant said, I agree. If you took it off and put the pipe in the backyard, I'm gonna get the water regardless. That's why I don't mind it being contained there. But at the same mindset, I wouldn't get as much water if it was there.
true.
I mean, the building department has, I think, the capability to issue a fine or issue some type of notification, I think. So that's gotta come from that group. If we do move it, I would prefer to kind of move it if we have a bigger plan about getting it away. Because you're right, I mean, it's getting to that point one way or another, whether it's extended out or
Right.
flowing over land from
Is it-
his, yeah.
And to be honest with you, you know, I had, like, people are kind of giving me a hard time, my close friends are saying, why don't you just cut it? You know, and I'm like, you don't understand, if I cut it off, he's like, you gotta get that out of your property. And I'm like, if I cut it off, it's still gonna be, I mean, I could maybe possibly try to get it between the houses, but unfortunately, that's a block too, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted you to be aware of it. I know it's a head scratcher, it's like, what do we do? But I guess just stay on the agenda and.
Yeah, just stay on the agenda, yeah,
And then you're gonna come out,
absolutely.
and I don't know, do you even need to come out, Mr. Bungie? Do you think?
I'll get together with Tony and or Eddie and we'll come out.
And see?
Okay.
Okay, all right,
Just wait it up to myself.
all right. So, that's the information. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Curly Dunbar, 6820 West 142nd Place, Woods of Cedar Creek. You mentioned that the Woods of Cedar Creek project is, you're just waiting for Mr. Lapham to sign.
Just
the form.
one more easement.
Okay. If he doesn't hear from somebody by the end of the week, does he have a contact person that he can?
If I have his number, I'll call him myself.
Okay.
I know he signed one easement already,
Right.
waiting on this one to be prepared, ready to go. I know Kirsten would normally call him, but she's out this week on military leave, so to push stuff along, I'll get in contact with him myself.
Thank you.
All right.
Justin Ladd, 7320 West 140th Place. It's expected that, we're gonna have to deal with getting the easement from my neighbor. But I know I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, but I heard you talking about,
Yeah.
some of those trees potentially dying if you just hit the roots and leaving them there. Unfortunately, some of them have already died regardless of that.
Yeah.
And one actually fell in the house couple weeks ago.
Your house?
My house.
Hmm.
Thankfully, there was no damage, which was amazing, because it fell out right between my weatherhead, right between the power line and the cable coming in. But I know we do have the easement on my property, and there's one tree that's still in question that you've probably seen. It's pressing up against my drop coming into my house from NIPSCO.
Okay.
I believe it's a Chinese element. It's slowly moving closer and closer to the driveway. I know we have additional time now before the rest of the project can be completed, but would that be something we may be able to assess? Just because that one's starting to worry me more and more.
Public Works would have to look at it.
It's completely accessible from my driveway and my yard, but I leave that up to your discretion.
Yeah, I could get with Tim Kubiak and Tim King, and we can go over there and look at it.
Yeah, nothing need me to get my NIPSCO to come out and get my drop done. That's fine too.
It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a product of how close it is, how bad condition it is, how
Yeah.
big it is, if they're
Yeah.
comfortable to fall it.
Yeah.
If not,
Yeah.
they'd have to get somebody else
We
to
had
do it.
been cutting trees down through the town anyway, so I'll talk to Tim King tomorrow about it and have him go over there and take a look at it.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
But that's on your property?
That is, I believe it's on my property. It's closer to my side of the creek. It's still on my neighbor's side of the creek, but my property line is right there.
We got a
And
good
it's literally
idea.
leading
Yeah, we got it.
my property, so.
We found his southwest property corner, so kind of
If
kept
utilities
this
are there,
discussion.
I mean,
Yeah, if it's close to utility, then I don't know how that makes both Tims feel.
Yeah, it's,
I mean, the ones they've been following have been pretty wide open and.
yeah.
yeah. No, this one, NIPSCO, I had called because it was rubbing against my drop.
Okay,
And they actually put a cover on there instead of falling it, so.
that was nice of them.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I was like.
I know
Why
we
would they do
have
something?
I know we have that company out here now that is cutting trees down around the power lines now. They were out today right by the Vidon, so I don't.
Is that orange trucks?
Yeah.
Asphalt or whatever?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're planning on doing the side streets as well. I have no idea.
If you see them, might just stop and be like, hey guys.
There's one on the power lines. Can you guys get that one too?
Yeah.
They're a big company,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll look into it.
Yeah, no problem. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
You wanna get in contact with Tim?
Yeah, I'll talk to Tim tomorrow morning about it.
Thank you.
Check in with that,
Will do.
Marlene, what are you doing back here?
I'm back here, I know. I think you might be back here. It's Marlene Lee, 6902 West 128th Place in Cedar Lake. And thank you for all the help you've already given me. We've gotten the leach field put in, and we've gotten the drainage out to the sewer. That's all taken care of. That was all done last fall. And I was hoping that I wouldn't have any more things to talk about, but I do. I have about 17 feet across the back of my yard that can't be cut, the yard. And it goes, I don't know, just eyeballing it, maybe 80 to 100 feet along the back fence. And I've always mentioned that the guy behind me has his land built up, and then the guy on the side of me was starting to do that too. the lady behind me there's two lands behind me, one short piece and one long piece. The lady behind me is actually a little bit lower than me, which the leach field now has taken care of all that from me.
Okay.
And then the guy on the other side is higher. So I'm low property. Before I forget to throw this in, comments, I haven't found anybody that says we do drainage. Everybody is like, no, we don't do drainage. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out the lay of the land, which I took pictures today in case you guys want to see, of the yard and how it pitches. But my first question that I really need answered is, I have a berm by the road, and I don't know if the town requires that berm to be there, which causes water to stay on my land and maybe pitch back to...
Like behind the curb?
Yeah, the curb.
No, there wouldn't be any need for it that I could think of.
Okay, because with the driveway that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to pitch that out, and I don't wanna have any problems with that. Because the whole point of me being here was to get a driveway.
Yeah.
I've been working on almost 3 years, but I'm close, okay. Now, okay, so, the long piece along, 17 feet along my back fence is my main concern right now. Because when the lawn can't be cut, you know, the other grass is soaked, but it can still be cut and you get those black lines through it with the lawnmower. So I'm really trying to find out what could be done and how to be directed, and if you guys do anything to come out and look or guide me or say where to go or how to manage. And what else I have, did I have any, I got the berm at the road, hold on. Oh, and I want to keep the land pitched so that I don't get water in my crawl space.
Yep.
So that was my other thing, so.
Front and backyard?
The back is pitched away from the home,
Pretty good.
because the home is kind of higher, but in the front not.
Yeah, it's low.
So, you know, I'm trying to address that properly. But right now, my main concern is the standing water along the back of the property, because I guess standing water attracts a lot of things that really can ruin your yard. You know, so what can you tell me? And do you do any grading?
No. The town won't do grading. We can look out there again. I know the rear part of your yard wants to go to the north. I mean, at least according to the topo, but if there's even the slightest fence line or high point, it'll hold it. So that's the tricky part, especially when you're draining through other people's parcels.
And, you know, God bless you, and I don't know how to manage it or what to do.
Yeah.
You know, I can see swales in my yard, but I don't know how to address them, so I really need some guidance about, you know, what the pitch should be or where my concerns need to be. And I can show you pictures if you need to see them.
No, we've been out there. We've been out there with you. And we can come out there again and take a look again.
Okay.
See how much the downspouts connecting, or the sump pump connecting into our system helped. And
Can you
see-
come out after a big rain? Or can you just have to come out anytime? You can probably...
we can try to come out of a big rain.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then I would...
usually we're dry now, so.
I would like to be there if you guys...
I mean, we did take a quick look, beginning of, I think it was last week, the end of last week we looked, and all the stuff that your contractor did, it's all starting to settle now.
Yeah, and
So-
I was trying to figure out how to manage that, because when the guy was putting the dirt back, he said, we don't grade this. So I didn't realize that I have a mound, and if I add dirt, I shouldn't, because that should just be pulled forward.
Yeah, I was hoping that when we went to go and finally inspect what they were doing, I was hoping that they would include that. Most places do, they include the final grading, so when we went out there, it sank down, and I mean, they just filled it and then left.
But
Is this
what they
when they
did
did the
was,
pipe work?
Yeah,
yeah, but what they did, there's a mound where they dug.
yeah, where they dug and
So
then,
there's dirt there that should be
Yeah.
applied to forward.
Yeah.
And I have a pile of dirt from the leach field that I don't want to let go of until
yeah,
I see if I need dirt.
I mean,
You know, so I have avoided now recently, because I got the idea that I shouldn't put
yeah,
any more dirt there, because it would just
Yeah.
have to be taken away. So I don't know who does that, or do I need to go back to my contractor, or how does that work?
Is this a grading issue, Eric, you think?
It might
Can this be
be.
solved by it?
It might be, 'cause I mean, it goes from the basin into her yard, and then it goes like into her backyard and then around. It's like where they did it at,
Alright.
so I don't know if,
Do you wanna meet me or TJ out there?
yeah.
I don't know if you wanna wait till a rain event, it's up to you.
I
mean, TJ's in
It's
town.
supposed to rain Thursday, I guess, so,
Okay.
Can
We
you
can
let
try
me
to
know
come
when
out
you're
there.
coming, so I can be
Yeah.
there?
yeah.
I think,
Just call me and then.
yeah, I think we have your number.
Do you want it again?
Wendy's,
Give it to
I'll
Wendy.
give it to Wendy.
Yeah, and she'll cycle it around.
I appreciate that.
yeah, you're welcome.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know what else to do with that, 'cause I mean, we would've did the grading in front of your, right there by the curb, after we got done digging the hole to put the pipe in, but I was assuming that they were gonna finish it, so.
Well, I don't know, I don't think it was an issue that they would come back after settling, because the guy said, we just push the dirt back, we don't grade it. He said that to me.
Okay,
And I'm like, okay,
Well, yeah,
because
then,
I didn't know what to expect. And
yeah.
I don't, and it's down about, I don't know, 10 inches. And I
Yeah, it's
didn't
down
know.
pretty good,
I've
yeah.
got the dirt, but if you want me to fill it in, I can fill it in, it's just I didn't think it would be
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
I'd have to see it.
Yeah,
I don't wanna,
what-
I don't wanna tell you something that's
Yeah,
not
because
right.
the other dirt should just come forward into it.
yeah, let us look at it first, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about what
But
we
yeah,
need to
see if
do.
I can
We'll,
be there.
we'll give you a call.
How much notice would you give?
I mean, if it's really gonna rain on Thursday.
Yeah, if it's really gonna rain on
Yeah.
Thursday, we'll call you Thursday morning and let you know that we're coming out.
So you might come Thursday,
Yeah, if it's raining, yeah.
if it's raining?
Yeah, it's supposed to rain, I think so.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you.
He knows better than me.
And then you're gonna look along the back where it...
Yeah, we gotta look at
Yeah, we'll
everything.
look at everything again, make sure
Yeah.
everything's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Angie Michaelachuk, 12806 Leacourt. I failed to mention something else I really wanted to tell you. In the Plan Commission meeting, there was some discussion with legal and the commissioner, and Mr. Ashton had said, I urge everyone to refer to a case, and the case is regarding Rutherford versus the City of Crown Point regarding a flawed sidewalk, which is what I have. And after that Plan Commission meeting, I did go and read the case from Crown Point, and this board had told me that I was liable for the sidewalk, and according to what he was insinuating by reading the case, the City of Crown Point was liable for the sidewalk.
I don't think we implied that we were liable for it. We said that when you build a house, the homeowner is responsible for installing that sidewalk. That's what we meant.
Yes, but I did ask specifically if somebody fell from the sidewalk into the
Oh.
drain, who would be liable, and that was on me. But I just wanted to let you know that that's what it said, because the judge awarded the personal injury, that it was the town's responsibility, so then in that case, they disputed it, the town did, or the city, and then they went back and said, well, if the town has funds to repair sidewalks, that they have made the decision to, Crown Point had put in different sidewalks, like, in front of the schools, or maybe a park, or something like that, with some funding that they got, instead of repairing the existing sidewalks that were there. So I'm not saying, I just want you to know that he did refer to that case in public comment.
Rutherford versus the town or the
Of-
city of Crown Point?
Correct. I think it was Rutherford, Ruthford.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know, so it is possible, because what Mr. Oshin said in public comment, that during the development stage, and if there was some liability, without saying too much, I just want to say there is a possibility that I am not liable. I just wanted to let you know that. So I'm hoping that that's going to be rectified, or some answers given after that report. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brad Wills, Lockridge Matrix Trust, Lot 9A. I just wanted to first ask if everybody received the letter you asked me to write on May 16th. Did you also receive the letter that I dropped off this morning, June 11th?
Right
The reason I did that was I did not get my request for documents until Monday evening. So this was documents that I just received of the plats of survey, which have some important information there as to the easement definitions and everything else. But quickly, there's a couple of comments on what was said before, then reiterate some of the facts. Just, all the other outlots in the HOA were not charged at all until the last several months, 5-6 months. And those outlots, which are farther east than our outlot, existed well before that date. I believe you said 2007?
Just because they weren't charged doesn't mean that the reason they weren't charged was that they were waived.
Well, okay, understand. The next thing was, that even though the lot is defined as a vacant lot, I cannot, by definition from us, right here in Cedar Lake, I cannot build anything. It's not a definition, does not meet the definition of a residential lot, per your own statutes. I can't get a building permit, I'm not allowed to build anything on it, et cetera.
It's part of a residentially zoned public unit development. It is considered a residentially zoned parcel.
Yeah, but for the definition as to what a residential lot is, it doesn't meet that definition. Regarding the pipe that's being referred to, that's underneath the railroad tracks, that's not shown as a part of the Cedar Lake storm sewer system. In fact, it's outside the Cedar Lake stormwater system. That also was in existence all the way, at least as far as we know, up prior to 1979. And the water, the pond, was preceding that railroad. It's actually part of a standard railroad bed design where they put those through pipes and it became a sort of emergency overflow. Then the other thing was it kind of acts as an emergency bypass. So when I sent over before, was again, the outlot is actually 3 different points of final outlet of the Cedar Lake stormwater system, and that's according to your own stormwater system map. Now, I can't zoom in any closer.
That's what makes you eligible for a direct discharge credit, because it is
However,
leaving the town corporate limits.
I understand, I'm just letting you know that by definition, if we are the outlet, then we are not contributing to it. We're not a user, we're being the usee. We are not served by, we are serving the Cedar Lake stormwater system. By definition, what water are we providing into the system? 99% of the water that's coming is coming from these 3 24-inch, I believe, diameter, pipes that are funneling into our outlet at 3 different points. So looking at the map, we're like, well, all the inflows are all listed up the hill, and they all funnel down with all these pipes that are under the ground and everything else, and then they all discharge onto this property. And it says right there on your map, it's listed as a point of final outlet, which then gets into the definition of what privately owned stormwater system elements happen to be. The biggest thing was, there's also the case I mentioned before. The biggest thing, though, was the passive survey that I just received yesterday from Thomas Ewing. Do you know that I did ask for those prior to the last board meeting? There was just some mix-up with everything and getting the documents and everything else. So we got us the supplemental documents last night, and we also got some again this afternoon. But what's interesting is that all of the drainage easements are defined as, quote, "A easement is hereby granted to the town of Cedar Lake for the installation of a drainage swale, ditch, waterway upon and along the strips of land designated on the plat and marked drainage easement for the purpose of handling the storm water runoff." The property can only be used, and it's best created, built, designed, approved by town of Cedar Lake to be a part of your stormwater system. And if you look at the other outlots and you see the stormwater map, you'll see how the outlots, final points of discharge and outflows are going onto those properties as well. So again, our question is, well, why are we having to be paying a drainage fee on a property that's clearly not a residential property, even though if it had to be defined that originally as a planned urban development? It does not meet the town's own code requirement at all, or any of the other elements, It's designated as this, it's a private stormwater, it's a retention pond. You don't use or benefit from the stormwater system or any sewer infrastructure pursuant to Mint versus the town, what is that town address? Pursuant to the case, maybe a case reference to you guys before.
I appreciate all the work that you did and, before coming today, this evening, we just saw it, so we haven't had time to process it in reference to other things that have been going on. So if you can give us time to process it and review it.
I can't hold you accountable for something that went out on Monday that I didn't even get the information until after you and I gave it to you today. So I'm not in any rush.
Okay.
You know, I'm not, but I just want to understand that some of the facts, you know, on face, if you just look at it, well, hey, this kind of meets the requirement. But if you actually look at what we downloaded, which is directly off of your website, of your statutes, you know, when you read the actual verbiage, you know, then it's like, wait a minute. But then when you look at the deeded, you know, restrictive covenants and the actual definition saying this is for the town of Cedar Lake to handle their stormwater runoff, that can't be any clearer as to saying the outlot is a part of your stormwater system. We're not contributing to it. You are benefiting from it.
I understand your perspective, we just have to review
Of course.
it. So, thank you for presenting this and providing all this documentation. But yes, we'll have to get back to you, Mr. Wells.
No problem. I mean, I found out today that some of the plats are missing from your records here. You know, now that's not their fault in any way, but, you know.
Yeah, we don't have to have every easement, or every record here at the county assessor and county recorder's office.
Well, I'm assuming that a final plat of survey that's approved for an urban development approved by the town of Cedar Lake would probably want to have a plat of what they approved.
In the perfect world, yes.
That's why I'm
But the
not,
keeper of the records is the Lake County recorder.
understand. But I'm saying we just didn't get anything until last night, which is why I gave it to you this morning.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have a formal response from the town here.
No problem. I mean, you don't have to send certified license, but we travel all the time. So I don't want to show up and it's, you know, coming there, you know, we
Right.
can have it go to the attorney's office, but in all honesty, I mean, it's not worth me paying, you know, a couple $100 for them to receive a letter,
Right.
you know,
Understood.
so. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Schmidt, 7518 Lakeshore Drive. I've got an issue with my driveway. It's not my driveway, it's actually your unimproved road, which is called Merton Court. I've brought it to Tim Kubiak over the last 10 years. It's always been a problem. In fact, Louis Vick, who's deceased now, even had to put curbs in, so the Merton Court would run and go right across his property. If you're familiar with 7518 Lakeshore Drive, that's the greenhouse at the stop sign on Lakeshore Drive that sits up on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole back of my house is a hill going up about 75 feet. The problem is that the neighbor who is behind me, I can give you an address. Let's zoom that in.
75,
Let's see, the address behind me is, he's up on the hill, he is around, 12942 Knight Street.
I think you gotta go over another block yet,
Well, Mr. Schmidt's here.
Yeah, 'cause I have that whole section there. But you go to Knight Street, which is the next one back, yeah, because I own all the way to him. He then, what he's done is Webster Street, which is also an unimproved road, he has backfilled all that property. He backfilled Webster Street, which you had a natural ravine for water runoff. So I've gone to the street department building several times. Someone came out about 3 years ago. They were going to look into it. I never heard anything back. But now the water that he has taken away the natural runoff now floods even more so, and it goes right down that hill, right down my street, right down Merton Court. And so the ravine that sits on that road that myself and my neighbor use is anywhere from 12 to 18 inches deep running down this road. So much so that, you know, I keep putting gravel back in there, I keep putting 53 so it packs. And last month, your sewer guys came out and they had to drain 3 manholes that were filled all the way up top with rock because the water wasn't draining. That's all coming from me. This has been a problem for, like I said, I built that house in 2014, finished it. It's been a problem ever since. I keep bringing up something to where, you know, it's only like about 250 feet or so worth of paving that needs to take place with some kind of a, you know, a center run, like you put in front of a garage door so that water has somewhere to go and it runs down the street without tearing it apart. But right now, they're at 12 to 18 inches deep, where you have to straddle it with your car just to get up and down.
Want to take a look at that one too?
Yeah, we can look at that one as well.
You guys have never looked at this before, or been out to this location?
No, I have not. There might have been other guys that might have, but, no.
I might have some years ago.
Well, someone came out about 3 or 4 years ago, and I walked up the property with them to the top of my hill. And I have
Might
an
have been
acre.
me?
What's that?
I said that might have been me?
And someone was gonna get back to me, and I never heard nothing back.
Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, well, we will take a look at it. I know Merton Drive, not in the greatest shape by any means.
Oh, no, it's really bad.
Yeah.
And it's even gotten worse in the last 4 years when that guy backfilled the natural ravine. The water used to go down, straight down to Lakeshore Drive.
So is that the 12922 night guy?
Yeah, he's got, I don't know his address.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what it was. I looked
The
it up.
biggest 9th Street parcel to your east, it looks like.
Right, he's directly behind me on the hill.
Oh, it's the 12942 guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the
Matt
one
Jones.
that's, I think you got him in blue over there, right?
Yeah.
So his house, and like I said, he filled in Webster Street, he filled in that whole ravine over there with block and brick, and I kept watching just dump it, and then he put dirt over the top, and now the water comes, you know, it always came down my street, but now it even comes down even more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me, I'll meet Eric out there and we'll look at it.
Yeah, 'cause is that the one they just built, or is that next to the one they just built? 'Cause they just built a new house over there, didn't they? Is that the guy you're talking about?
No, I don't
There
know.
might be one at the very end that was built, the end
You're
of
talking about
night.
up the hill?
Yeah, on Ninth Street, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's at the very end of night that was built. So it's, yeah, that all drains down the
Yeah, they
slope
shouldn't
on the Lakeshore
be
Drive,
doing
that
that.
shouldn't affect it.
But I didn't think you could fill in a natural ravine like that.
No.
Not, and definitely not change the water pattern.
Yeah, right, I
Well,
know.
and it's in unimproved public right away.
Is it?
Most likely at Whitney Street, or I think it's also
It's,
called
yeah.
Webster.
It's at the
Yeah.
very end of Webster where it just kinda goes off to the
Yeah.
hillside.
Yeah, that whole area of the roads are terrible, so. Yeah, I know you did, it does run down your driveway
Oh,
and every
it
street.
flows
and
like a river.
Then it usually will go right to that storm drain running the corner,
Lakeshore
but,
Drive.
yeah.
Yeah, and the one next to
Yeah.
it that way and the one next to it this way.
But now,
All
yeah.
filled,
Okay.
like
Yeah,
a
we'll
month
come
ago.
take a look at it.
Is that your Alta truck?
I'm sorry?
Is that your Alta truck?
Alta truck?
Alta equipment truck?
No.
No? Okay.
Look at Street View.
I know that there's a guy that lives back there, drives a truck. Service truck.
No, yeah, there's a guy who pulls his truck up the hill somewhere, it's not,
Okay.
I'm right on Lakeshore Drive, so he's up the hill somewhere.
Okay, yeah, guess go out there and have a response for your next meeting.
Okay, is it possible, I mean, can I be there? Can I walk you guys?
It's your
up the
house.
Yeah, if you're
You want to give a number to Wendy?
hill? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen you out there anyway, when we drive by, you're usually out there, so.
Thank you. Just the number.
Are you done, Mike?
I am, thank you.
Robert H. Carnahan, 12850 Fairbanks Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana, 46303. I'm also a town council member. And I contacted Michelle and had Michelle get a hold of you today. And that's why we wanted to get something on record, so we can try and get something going for you.
Okay.
And my other concern is Randy Schmidt, who lives on Snyder Street. I'd just like to know what the progress is with working with him with his drainage in his backyard.
Eric and Tim.
Wow, this is gonna be
Because
hard.
he's all the time calling me.
Actually, the neighbor to the north of him, Eric, purchased 80 feet of HDPE pipe, and we were supposed to go over there and make a culvert pipe through his yard, and Tim wanted to put another basin next to the other basin, but we were over there today and the gas line's there, so he knows that, Tim knows that that pipe is bad, because we tried cameraing it, and the whole bottom of that corrugated, metal pipe going from Randy's basin all the way down past his two neighbors' house to the south, it's bad. And then it like changes, like 2 houses down from him, it changes into different pipe, like another situation where, I did mention it to Kubiak, and he said he's trying to think of what to do with it.
Yeah, Tim had told me he thought there was a catch basin out there, but I walked the entire length of it and I couldn't find a catch
Well,
basin out there.
This is all gonna be in the front. The back, I don't know, he has not mentioned anything about the back. He wants to take care of the front first, I'm assuming. But I think Eric just wanted to take it upon himself to try to fix the problem, from his neighbor to the north. So we're gonna be going out there and like redoing his, cause he's already got a pipe there in his yard, it's just way too small. So we're gonna try to fix that to eliminate his water problem in the front. And then Kubiak said he's gotta make a decision on what else he wants to do over there. So, but he knows that all that pipe in the front, and all the front yards it's all garbage, it's all bad.
Okay,
So-
so you guys are still working?
Yes, we're still in the process of working on it, he just needs to figure out what he wants to do and where he wants to put the water at, so.
All right,
But we're trying to get to it.
thank you. Different position for me, sitting over there.
Thanks, Bob. I know, this is weird, this is odd, with you being there and not over here.
Yeah, but I had to give up when you were meeting on the first Thursday because I had a conflict, but I could have sat there tonight with Julie not being here.
Mrs. Schmidt-Key, can you add that to an update item,
Yes.
Yes.
please?
Yeah, I don't know, Don, if he talked to you about that or not.
That's the first I've heard about it.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I know there's the history with it, and I know he was working on it, but
yeah, so,
the
he's
most
well
updated
aware
I've had
of
for a
it.
while.
Yeah, he's well aware that the pipe needs to be replaced in the front, so.
I know Tim King's dealing with it too.
Yeah,
or
he
was.
is as well, so.
Okay, any correspondence from the online viewership?
There's nobody on my.
All right, thank you, everyone. We will see you back on July 9th, in 2024.